in the Presidio neighborhood right now with actually the El Paseo courtyard. I'm the tasting room manager here at Barden Wines. I oversee a total of 3 other staff here and basically just pour wines, educate people about Santa Rita Hills and Santa Barbara in general. So in Barden Wines, we are focused mainly on Santa Rita Hills, which is cold climate varietals. So we do mainly Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays. However, we actually just released some Viognier, a cold climate Syrah and a cold climate Grenache. We source from about 8 different vineyards in Santa Rita Hills. We have that really big coastal influence because we actually have an east-west coastline instead of a north-south coastline. So Santa Rita Hills has that really big coastal influence that the fog just sits in there, creates amazing cold climate varietals, which is Pinot Noir and Chardonnay mainly. So the level of wine is going to be at a higher level. This one, Santa Rita Hills, is going to be one step up from, say, Los Olivos District or Santa Barbara County in general. You think of Santa Rita Hills and you think of that Pinot Noir and that Chardonnay and Pinot Blanc, and it's just an escalated level of wine. So Santa Rita Hills mainly, and Barden sources all of its grapes from only Santa Rita Hills. So we don't source out from anywhere else, and it's that one level up basically. It's a higher level couture label under Doug Marjoram in general. It's a great wine, higher price point, higher level of production, and a very tiny production. So we only make about 800 cases a year. So Marjoram and Barden are different companies, essentially because of where we source the grapes from. So Marjoram sources its grapes from areas like Los Alamos Valley, Los Olivos AVA, Ballard Canyon, Happy Canyon AVA, and then Barden's it's separate entity. It sources its grapes solely from Santa Rita Hills, which is one of the most pristine, world-class vineyards, a variety of different vineyards, a variety of different varietals that come from Santa Rita Hills. It's just an escalated level of wine. And then under Doug Marjoram, as the director of winemaking, the owner of the company, he just does wonders with all these already amazing. Barden Wines is focused towards a demographic of people who, one, has to enjoy wine. You have to enjoy wine that's paired with food, that pairs really well with food, and someone who can take a wine and hold it for a very long time, because Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays, they just get better with age. You want to take a Chardonnay and you want, or a Pinot Noir, and you want to take that Pinot Noir and hold it for 5 to 7 years before you drink it. And that's going to be the people that we target. That's going to be the people that can buy this wine and then can afford to. Cases a year. Currently, we don't have any major distribution for that wine. It's all direct-to-consumer sales, so our tasting room, basically. We do have some places that carry our wines in Santa Barbara, and then we do have a couple places in San Diego that carry our wines as far as in restaurants, but we don't really have a main distribution for Barden Wines. It's all direct-to-consumer. We thought about having this level of wine, and I can go back to Doug's beginning of his Vita Nova label, and then not making Chardonnays and any Burgundy varietals under the Marjoram label, and wanting to make a Burgundy out of Santa Rita Hills. So we actually got our winery 2012 on Industrial Way, and his office actually looks out over Sta Rita Hills, and at the time he wasn't making any Burgundian varietals. And so then he wanted to start a new label that took that into consideration. So something that was completely separate than marjoram, because marjoram was mainly focused on, you know, the rosés, the Rhones, the Sauvignon Blancs. And so this Barden label really captured what Sta Rita Hills was and what his expression of Sta Rita Hills was. And so he wanted to start this Barden label to basically produce amazing Burgundy varietals. This is an amazing industry to be in. This courtyard is absolutely beautiful, and the wine is absolutely delicious. So I can't complain. It's the process of winemaking that Doug does is very specific to not only the varietal and not only the vineyard, but the block as well. So he takes into consideration the fact that block 20 could be very different than block 21, and we ferment and age according to that. So we'll have, you know, a fermenter of block 20 and a fermenter of block 21. So it doesn't all just get into one. You know, it's a very specific process to all the little things that could happen to a grape, from the time it's, you know, a bud on a vine to the time that it's actually ready to harvest.